Thank you so much, sir. Just check. Now I request Vijayshri Mehta ma'am to kindly address the audience. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to one and all here. Firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Meghna madam, Dr. Vishal sir, Dr. Jeannie ma'am for inviting me, and all the other faculty members for inviting me for this delivering this session. And I'm very privileged here to address all the students and the faculties on the very eminent topic, that is the ISCs and the role of innovation ambassadors. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm very sure that these sessions I want to be interactive, especially from the student sides, as well as if any doubts are there from the faculties, even the faculties can ask me the question at the end of the session. Okay, thank you very much once again.
Ma'am, just a moment before you start. I take the opportunity to formally welcome you on behalf of entire institute, on behalf of Dr. Meghna Bilare, Director of the Institute, who could not be present today because of some other commitment. We are very fortunate. Our students are particularly very fortunate that today they are getting an opportunity to attend this session, which is going to be conducted by such an eminent resource person. So on behalf of all the students also, in advance only, I thank you, and we are all eager, we are all ears to attend your session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, so with your permission, can we start, sir?
Please, ma'am, please.
Yes. Can anyone from the audience tell me if the presentation is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Okay, so with the permission of the host, I would like to start with this session. So students and the faculty members who have joined here, let me just tell you, this is just an orientation session. It will not be able to cover in just a stipulated time all the minute details. There are a number of other sessions which are being required from time to time. So this is just an orientation session, and as I'm aware, the ISC has already been established at the institute. So it will just give you a brief idea about what are different what I can say norms which are being mentioned by IICs, and what is the major role which the innovation ambassador has to play in igniting this IICs, and who can be the innovation ambassadors, and what are the other procedures to get certified from MHRD MIC. Okay, so this is going to be the agenda for today's session, students and the faculties. First, I'll be trying to cover, just give you the brief idea why this, before I go to the ISCs and what benefits the students and the faculties will get. Let us try to understand what are the ideas, what are the innovations, and why entrepreneurship is very, very important and linked to ideas and innovations. What are the startups, what are the startup ecosystems, and what is the journey from ideas to enterprise. And at the end, I will be focusing my full discussions on ISCs and the role of innovation ambassadors. And definitely students and faculties, it is very, very important that everyone needs to have active role, because there are n number of benefits, not only for the institutes, but as an individual student, as well as an individual faculties, there are n number of benefits which are being mentioned. I'll be explaining it at the end of this session. Okay, so now let us start with what are the ideas, innovation, why there is a need for ideas, innovations, and entrepreneurship. And every institute, every person, every government agencies, and even recently you may have seen even our Prime Minister is all the times focusing on and promoting and getting a number of schemes to promote this innovations and entrepreneurship. So why there is a need for these ideas and innovations? And definitely there is a linkage between innovations and entrepreneurship. Okay, so now you may have seen students, just try to recall your full day. Okay, yesterday is already over. Now you try to recall the full day, waking up till going to the sleep. Okay, and even after the sleep, many times. Okay, how it this topic is linked even after sleep, that I will be discussing in some other sessions. Okay, now you just try to see, we all were, and we all still are surrounded by a number of problems. Okay, like just getting up, like many times, you may have seen the movie Dangal, like how that particular alarm clock is needed to get up early in the morning. Okay, so now today you don't need an alarm clock as such, because everything is available in your smartphone, right? So try to think of any product which you are using from start getting up in the morning till going to the sleep. Like it may be get like your smartphone, or it may be water heater, or it may be what you can say, tea maker, or it may be sandwich maker, it may be washing machine, it may be vacuum cleaner, any damn product you think. It may be a car, it may be, so everything at one particular stage, it was an idea, it was not a product, it was an idea. Someone thought about it, there was a problem, someone thought about that particular problem, he or she came up with it. Is not necessary only the male counterparts will think, even there are n number of innovations are taking place where females have ignited those innovations. Okay, so every now and then you think of any product which you are using throughout the day. Throughout the day, it may be ATM machine, it may be a smartphone, it may be any application. Everything is trying to resolve some or the other problem. And definitely, if your problem is getting resolved, definitely you will be very happy and you will be very comfortable, right? So you take any product for that matter. Okay, so all the times we are some or the, if one problem is resolved, then maybe it is not that it is unending, as the needs of a person are unending. Like in subjects like organizational behavior or motivation, you may have heard about this, that there is no limitation as far as the wants of human beings are concerned. Okay, so same way, as the more and more wants, the more is been given to you, the more you expect. Okay, so definitely some or the other problems. And it's not only that you are the students as a community. Okay, there are women, okay, there are illiterates, there are poor people, there are small school going kids, there are senior citizens. So you think of any person, okay, even the small kids, okay, even the infants. Okay, so there are, you think of any particular sector, okay, some or the other problems will be existing, and there is a need that someone should take that particular problem, think on that particular problem, and come up with some solution to it. Okay, see, there are n number of sessions which are taking place on design thinking and innovations, wherein there will be n number of examples will be given, and really the people are thinking out of the box. That is very, very important. So waking up till going to sleep, we all see n number of products which were at one or the other time, they were the ideas. Okay, and those ideas, after a lot of work on those particular ideas, got converted into prototypes, and prototypes now today are the realities in the form of innovative products. Okay, so this is basically what ideas are, what is their need of the ideas. Because if as a student also you face n number of problems, and there are n number of products which are going to solve your problems, right? Now there are a number of startups coming. Okay, they are addressing only the students, because the students who take the admission, they come from different places. Many students, they don't have their own two-wheelers, and if for committing, now many startups are coming in the EV sector. Like that will be only mobility for the students, giving the comfortability of traveling for the students. So their innovations are something which are going to distinguish between a leader and the follower. That is what is a very important quote which has been given by Steve Jobs. Okay, so basically now you may have throughout your MBAs and MCAs, you may have a number of examples of various companies. Okay, the companies, see now students, before I go ahead, let me clear it very, very strongly to you all. Okay, it is not only that when you want to become entrepreneur, then only you should think of entrepreneurship. Even though you are taking up jobs, even though you are taking up full-time jobs, still this is something which you cannot avoid thinking. You have to think on entrepreneurship and startups and how it is going to benefit you. That I'm going to tell you in the later part. Okay, so students, please pay attention to this. Is a very, very important. Some or the other day, if you're not sincere, today, definitely one day or the other, you are going to think startups or entrepreneurship as one of the very important options for you. Right? So students, I am going to tell you, there are many people who are doing full-time jobs, but at the same time they have floated many small companies. And nowadays this is something called as moonlighting, and many companies are many schemes, many government agencies are boosting this kind of thing. Okay, see now in old times even the laws are getting changed, amended because of all this. Okay, so think this on a sincere note and start working towards it. Start taking a genuine interest into it. Okay, you may be taking full-time jobs, but still you need to take a genuine interest into this topic of innovations, ideas, innovations, and startups. Okay, so now you may have seen any idea at one or the other time, it was totally been absurd. Okay, people may think this is what is an idea. Okay, you are investing all your time, but the person who is thinking of that idea knows what is the benefit and what is the what you can say, the value of that particular idea, which will contribute to the society as well as to himself or his own family, and not only this, at the end the nation at overall basis. Like, so that is basically what Albert Einstein, when he started thinking of the idea of electricity, it was many people may have thought, or it may be James Watt who was thinking of some steam engine. Some people were doing what he is doing. Okay, he's wasting his time. Probably even many times it happens, but now it has been encouraged by even the parents. You start working, whatever is your passion, you go ahead with it. Okay, now parents are also not getting rigid. Many parents have started changing their mindset. Okay, so because that is something which has been very, very important, students and the faculties. Okay, so now this is the innovations. Now you may have seen there is a severe competition, increasing competition. Let it be at the job places, let it be at various what you can say achievements. Like, you know, every now and then, in old times there was only one or two two-wheeler companies, but today there are so many companies. You take talk of you mention a single product and there are n number of players. Initially it was local business, there were few limited companies. Okay, so hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just thought the network got disconnected. Okay, madam, if at all anytime I'm getting disconnected, please just let me know so that I can get a connection.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. Okay. So there is a severe competition. Let it be. Like, say everyone who had joined this session, okay, may feel themselves there is a lot of competitions, and because of the competition, definitely there are a lot of what I can say other problems which are taking place. Like, it may be work-life balance, or it may be getting the effects on the health. And also it is very important that there is the innovations are going to be helping or innovations are making the people at comfort. Okay, there is a severe increasing globalization. Okay, now you may have seen if you see like a lot many times there is a lot of strike, and there are a lot of protests that and now a lot many things have been changing. Okay, as far as globalization is concerned, like Make in India, you know, now that because of too much globalization, the local people or local companies were not able to establish themselves well. Okay, so to promote this, it is very important that there is like say impact of this globalization. There is like increasing consumer expectation. Ye dil mange more, you know, always. Okay, you may have seen learned it in the marketing or many basics of marketing. Like the more you give to the customer wants more. Okay, so that is basically again is requirement for this innovations. There are a lot of advancements in the technology. Like today, what session we are doing it on Zoom platform. Probably 2 years back, it was this Zoom, Google Meet, Team Link. This nothing was there, but today it has been the necessity. It has been requirement. Otherwise, the whole system would have been got collapsed. Okay, now there is changing workforce demographics, like more and more females are joining at the workplaces. Okay, so definitely how to get the safety for this female. So that is again some what I can say, giving the what I can say igniting someone to think of this particular problem. If females are going at workplace, what will happen with the small kids which are there at home? So someone come up with some idea that he will start some good professional babysitters, like crèche facility. So there, this changing workforce demographics also always is igniting these innovations, and definitely changing how we work. We are working today. Okay, everything's happening today, no cash. Okay, it is everything happening, payment is happening online from mobile. Okay, like a Google Pay, or it may be a Phone Pay. There are so many applications. So in physical cash is not at all been required. The way we are committing in old times, it was maybe walking was the most important what I can say media. Later it was two-wheelers or maybe the cycles, but today, even if you don't have car, still you can travel with a car, because Ola and Uber are already there. Okay, so today how it is the way we work, the way we live, that has been drastically changed, and that's why the innovations are been very, very important, students. Okay, and the basic step for the innovations is the ideas. Okay, you start thinking of some idea which will be really is a very big problem. And like say, just take example, just recently because of the COVID, you may have seen a number of startups has come into the picture. Probably the other way around, the things were expected. Like the things were expected that many startups will collapse, many entrepreneurs will give up. Okay, and many businesses will collapse. Yes, definitely there are many businesses which are been impacted, but at the same time, some other businesses have started. Okay, there is definitely, you may have seen sanitizer. Now, from where the sanitizers are coming, you may have seen sanitizer bottles or sanitizer sprays, or let's say a number of mask making. That is a big business. It has become a big business. Small for rural people, women, they are getting, who knows the tailoring, they are getting this what can I say, work for making those masks. Okay, so that is basically why there is a need for innovations. Okay, now students, this is something very interesting. Okay, many times like say, we keep on watching, everyone likes to watch movies, even I do like to watch the movies. Definitely, students, you do watch some movies where it will be romance will be there, some good songs will be there, yes. But being, if you really want to be successful, definitely that is been required. Entertainment is also required, but at the same time, watch these movies from the learning point of view. Okay, that is also one aspect to watch the movies. Like there are a number of movies where you will be finding the innovations, ideas, innovations, and the startups. Like I have given on this slide. Is the slide visible, madam? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now you see these movies, Uri. Now there some small intern is there, and he is making some model, some based on Garud Puran. Okay, or that lady nurse which has been appointed, she is putting a chip on that old lady. So because she is suffering from Alzheimer's. Okay, so that is basically innovation. If the chip would not have been there, probably they would have lost her, or it would have taken a lot of time. Okay, now you see Three Idiots. That is one of the favorite movie, and that is full of innovations. Right? You see that movie from this angle, innovations, ideas, innovations. You will see that a number of innovations have been mentioned already in that movie. Or you see the movie Padman. A small idea. It was very, like say, many people have really, what I can say, humiliated that person who was seeing, and that these are all the real stories. Mission Mangal. This is a real story. Okay, or you see in case of robot movie, the way the delivery of that particular baby has been done by a robot. Okay, or in case of Krish movie, you may have seen the security like your retina and what you can say, the heartbeat. Okay, that needs to be matched with that the password which has been given. Without this, that's the reason why in that movie that hero has been kept alive, because his retina only can open that particular system. So these are all the things. So you take a security aspect, you take the problem solving aspect, you take maybe like a woman related aspect, you take the small kids aspect. So there are n number of innovations which are taking place, and those innovations are making every person, every human being of that particular sector at ease. Okay, now it has been very important, students, and there are a number of examples. Okay, this is a very important quote which has been given by Peter Drucker: an established company which is an age demanding innovation is not able to innovate, is doomed to decline and extinction. And the best example for this is Nokia. Like Nokia was one of the very reputed and one of the very well established company as far as the mobile sector is concerned, right? But today Nokia is nowhere, because because Nokia failed in innovation. Nokia failed in innovation, and that's why it has gone on the verge of extinction. That is, it is totally out of the market, because there are a number of other players which came. Now you see today Samsung, or you see any other mobile company for that matter, they all the times keep on innovating. Okay, and as I already mentioned, a lot of globalization is taking place. Lot of company, the foreign investments are taking place. The other companies are coming and establishing their plants here. So there are a number of, and the rules are because all this are been it is all the trade and and WTO and all this are been taking a very important role into finalizing these rules and regulations of trade and tariffs. Okay, so this is basically what why the innovations is very important. Okay, now innovations basically solves the problems and makes the living comfortable. Okay, helps giving recognition to the innovator, as well as support mechanism as mentors and institutions. Now, as a student, if you are doing thinking of some idea and you think this idea will be really very good and can be converted into a prototype and later as an innovative product. Okay, so definitely you will be getting the recognition will be at various levels, at the institute level, at the department level, as well as at the regional level, at the state level, as well as if that innovation is really very helpful for the society, probably at the national level also. Okay, now not only you will be getting as an innovator, definitely innovator will get the first recognition, but at the same time the support mechanism, some or the other faculty may have helped you, or some of the other mentors are there who have really given the shape to that particular, what you can say, innovation. You may have seen the movie Padman. Okay, now he was just knowing how to get that low cost how to get that low cost sanitary napkin, but how to brand it and how to market it, someone was there to guide, like that the lady, okay, in that particular movie. Okay, and not only this, the more and more innovations come from the various students, various individuals, various faculty members. Okay, so definitely it is going to give the ranking to the nation as such, so it helps in nation building. Yes, I think Snehal has raised a hand. Yes, Snehal, any doubt? Yes, Snehal? I think Snehal has raised the hand. Any doubt with this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, so students and faculties, if there are any doubts are there, I will be taking it at the end of the session so that we can go with this session smoothly. Okay. Okay. Now see, students, you may have seen this movie 3 Idiots. Every time almost I have seen that movie more than 50 times. Okay, still it is one of my favorite movie. Okay, see now you may have seen that particular what I can say, Ranchot Das Chanchad, what is the name? Okay, basically it's Sonam Wangchuk. Okay, who is the real, basically here based on his inventions, and the passion for solving the problems. That is basically that movie is based on. So this is real life Rancho. And now see the innovation which is you are able to see in this picture. Okay, it is one of the fantastic innovation which he has come up, and every time he surprises all with his this kind of inventions. Okay, now you see here it is just a small solar heated military tent. Okay, with the capacity 10 jawans, and now where it will be used, definitely our jawans are there at the borders. Okay, our jawans are at that at the military. They are there at various different places and securing us. We are sitting at our homes, but they are there who are securing our nation. Okay, but at many places they are at some places where the temperature will be going into the minus degrees, and it's very very difficult for them. Like many times surviving in that particular cold is very very difficult. Okay, they face a number of problems. So in such case, to help them to maintain this temperature almost up to 15 degree, so that is what has been this invention. It's one of the fantastic innovations, right? Okay, so this is I have ended up with my first point. Okay, now let us understand the startups and the entrepreneurs. Okay, now why the startup is very very important, students. Okay, now it is one of the very favorite quote. Okay, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man how to do fishing and you will feed him for a lifetime. Okay, now what does this particular quote tells you? Like, say you are, see, you are taking education. Okay, and okay, initial phase for getting the experience, definitely you should take up some jobs, no problem. But at some or the other time, definitely you should be the employers. How long you will be? Because if you are starting up your own business, it will give the life to so many families, because you are not going to, business cannot run in isolation, right? You cannot do the business all alone. You need a team, and that team is being paid by the organization, and a lot of manpower will be required for this. Okay, so that is basically, and that manpower is very very that employment generation is a very very important aspect as far as entrepreneurship is concerned. Okay, so now you see at any particular time, this whatever today we are using almost every now and then, and without this today, imagining a life will be a really tough task, right? Now you see and all this, the people who have floated this companies, these were at one or the other time it was just an idea. Okay, now see, there are a number of types of innovations. Like some innovations will be totally new, and some will be like these are been what I can say are based on some already existing at some other places. Okay, now you see this very when Mr. Ritesh Agarwal, he himself was trying to book some hotel, and he found that that hotel prices are very high, and he is not able to get within his range. So he thought of that particular idea, and OYO rooms is today the reality. Bhavesh Agarwal, who is floated Ola, now today Ola is more preferred as compared to Uber. Okay, now Flipkart, you know, Flipkart is all the times getting innovations, all the times strategizing its policies. Okay, so that more and more customers are going to get attracted to going to use Flipkart rather than any other online shopping apps. Okay, now it is WhatsApp. Like today we can you imagine a life without WhatsApp? Like it's very very difficult, right? Because we need it, and that is not only just for what I can say, that WhatsApp is not just a social media, it is even giving what is a learning. Okay, and number of good videos are being shared, good articles are being shared on WhatsApp. Like, so that is a free knowledge is becoming free these days. Okay, knowledge is totally becoming free these days. Okay, now just ignore this particular mistake of Amazon. Okay, there is a spelling mistake, I'm so sorry. Okay, now you see Facebook, and the best, like without which living today it's a really very tough task, that is Google. Okay, now you see these are, there are a number of other examples. Just for this being the basic session, I have just shared only this. There are a number of women entrepreneurs, there are a number of young entrepreneurs. Now even there are teenagers, you understand, it is just 13 years, 14 years, they are owning 2 to 3 companies, right? So that much has been possible with proper mentorship, proper guidance, but you need to definitely think of that particular idea. Okay, now the other aspect which is very important to understand for all the students as well as the faculties is the concept of incubation. Okay, now in incubation, it is pre-incubation, incubation, and post-incubation. Okay, now basically what happens in pre-incubation, like say incubation is basically something, no any idea, like say you are thinking of innovations, you are thinking of startups, it will not just be a nightmare job, right? आज सोचा और कल तुम्हारा business शुरू हो गया, no, it will not happen like that. Like एक छोटा बच्चा पैदा होने के लिए भी 9 months minimum wait करना पड़ता है, right? So definitely to get that idea into prototype and into a very marketable product, okay, you need to give sufficient time for it. Okay, so that is basically a creative idea will always require an incubation period. Okay, now basically what happens in now in terms of this in incubation centers or institutes, HEI's incubation, okay, higher educational institutes incubation, what does it mean? Pre-incubation is something like say just take example, Snehal is there and Snehal is having some idea, okay, just it is just a very just a thought came in her mind that this particular problem needs to be solved. Okay, and she's thinking of some particular solution for that particular problem. So it is just at a very basic level. Okay, maybe 2-3 days only she had thought, and that is a basic idea. But how to convert this particular idea to solve that particular problem into the innovation? Okay, now what happens? She will come to some maybe the faculty or the HOD or many any mentor which has been there in the institute. Okay, now she will be constantly regularly being mentored and guided on various aspects, okay, of getting that is basically the whole process of design thinking comes into picture. Okay, so that whole process of design thinking from a basic idea, whether that idea has been feasible, whether it will be work out, whether are there any problems with that particular solution, which is there may be multiple solutions, so which solution to go ahead. Okay, so there will be some mentoring which will be done at the initial level. Okay, till the time a final prototype is been, so from idea till prototype, that particular guidance, mentorship, everything that is basically comes under the pre-incubation. Okay, now once that prototype is ready, once the idea has been validated, okay, once it has been marketable product has been there, then there will be some what I can say pitching in front of the investors, getting the funds, starting producing that particular product, manufacturing that product, and then getting into the market. Okay, but even for that particular purpose, some training has been required, how to do marketing for this. Now your prototype is ready. Okay, now you know this product is going to be this prototype is going to be getting converted into what can say product, as a product. Till prototype it is pre-incubation. Okay, but once the product has been getting developed, okay, it will be all the time. See, during pre-incubation also constant mentoring will be done. Okay, constant mentoring will be done, whether that particular idea, because sometimes many times we think of something, but at the end it comes something different. Okay, at the end it is something different. Okay, so now once this particular whole team, it is everything has been ready, there all the guidance will be done in incubation. Okay, in incubation what happens, he will be provided a lot of training. Okay, a lot of people, experts in that particular area will be given will be what I can say network with this particular team. It may be individual a student, or it may be a team of the student who are working on that particular idea. Okay, so now that's expert in that. Like just take example, one student is working on some particular idea which is related to electrical vehicles. Okay, now I am not an engineer, I say I am not a expert in how the electrical vehicles work. Like say what will be their mileage, how much how frequently the battery needs to be charged. Okay, how what about the charging stations? So I'm not very expert, so there needs to be, I can guide that particular team on an overall basis, but for getting the in-depth guidance, there needs to be the expert. Okay, now from where they will be getting the financial support. Like say for starting any business, you need the some money, probably you may get it as a seed from your own pocket, but still whether the institute will be ready, helping you in initial stage, or whether they will be approaching some financial agencies. Like there are a number of support mechanisms available. Like, no, this financial aspect plays a very, very important students. सारे नाटक होंगे, पैसे का नाटक नहीं होगा. Like, suppose you start with a very lot of enthusiasm and later that business collapse, who is going to bear that particular loss? Okay, so definitely it is the founders, okay, or the person who starts that particular business. But students, at the same time, one very important aspect, let me clear it to you, don't get a fear of failures, because you see all the successful persons at one or the other times they had failed in many aspects. Okay, like they had failed in many ventures, but at the end they have come up with something and today they are having success. So don't have the fear of the failures. Okay, because it should be something like ant बार बार चढ़ती है, फिर गिर जाती है, फिर चढ़ती है, फिर गिर जाती है, लेकिन एक टाइम वो पक्का चढ़ जाती है उसके मंजिल की तरफ. Right, so same way it is very important, students. So in incubation, technical support, financial support, business advice, what I am talking in terms of, there are a lot of legal compliances also to be made. Like, it is a startup, so everything will be ignored. No, there are legal compliances. Okay, so who can guide you better on this legal compliances? Definitely some expert who will be having the knowledge of all the laws. Like, say if you are thinking of electrical vehicle business, starting an idea of electrical vehicle, so you need to have thorough knowledge of how the Motor Vehicle Act works. Okay, and what if anything goes wrong, what will be the what is the compensation you need to pay? Like Ola, initially they make that insurance, you know, they make all the KYCs. Okay, so all these legal compliances are to be made. Okay, and once the incubation has been done, once that company has been what can I say, established, like it may be private limited, it may be as a proprietorship, or it may be as a what can I say, a partnership firm. Okay, whatever, there are different types of the companies. Okay, you will be establishing this, you will be getting all the registrations done, on all the legal compliances been made, and you will be able to start your business. Okay, and later it will be let's say, now what this incubation basically at the institute level means, or it may be there are n number of other what can I say, business incubation centers. Okay, not only institute, but there are n number of other what can I say, private agencies which have established their incubations, and you can approach those. Now here basically what incubation support will be provided to you. First, it will be basically the space, because as a startup, if you are you cannot purchase a office, right? So you will be needed to rent it. Like, so renting it will be very costlier for you. So instead of this, if you can have some sharing places. Okay, so even institutes now, as per IIC norms, even institute need to establish the incubation centers wherein they can provide in the initial phase small place to work. Okay, that will be the office address for them, and in the later stage there will be policies which are being framed as an ISP by the institute, and based on the policies this all incubation period will be decided. Okay, so it may be 1 year, approximately it will be 1.5 years period of incubation will be made, and once that company starts growing and getting the profits, at the later stage it will be, because some new students teams will be there, so the same place is to be allocated, so that incubation period will be over and that company will take over again. Later they will be renting out the place outside. Okay, so this is basically sharing of the places, and a number of what can I say, agencies are coming with such kind of provisions. Okay, so it is coaching, office space availability, making availability of office space, then financial funding. So where to approach angel investors, venture capital, where to approach for this funding. Okay, so all this guidance will be made in the incubation, and a lot of networking will be provided through incubation in that particular area. See, now just take example, one student is working in agri, some innovative product, okay, and idea that is related to agribusiness. So definitely he needs to have the expertise in that particular area. Okay, the guidance in that particular area. Okay, so that is basically, so a lot of experts who will be in that particular area, they will be network with him, that particular team, so that that particular idea gets converted into the innovation, and what strategies, how to launch that particular company, how to do the marketing. So all these aspects will be covered in incubation, pre-incubation, incubation, and post-incubation. Now, what is meant by post-incubation? Even at the after that team, that company which has been registered by those students or the faculties, that has been going out of incubation. Okay, so still just a little bit in the initial phase, they need support for when they are growing, they need more support. So that particular little support also will be provided after after incubation. Okay, now this is another point is idea to enterprise, like idea to prototype to innovation to enterprise. Okay, so it is a very long journey. It's not a one night's job. Now you see, I'm not going to explain this full slide at present because the theme of this session is not this. Okay, so this is, you can see it is a very what I can say, it's a journey and it's not a destination. It's a journey and you have to follow all the steps. Sometimes you need to repeat the steps. Okay, making the prototype, testing the prototype. If any changes, again make the changes in the prototype, again test it. So sometimes the repeated steps are also been there. So it is a journey and not a destination. Okay, so it will be continuous. Like say one product you have developed, that product is into the market, and it's so you're as a startup, your journey is stop, your this work is stop. No, you have to think of how you can again modify that particular product, how you can improvise that particular product, or can you add some different product. See, diversification, you may have heard this word, MBA and MCs, like management students. So how the companies are diversifying. So can in the same line of business diversification is required, or any other line of business. So this is basically a journey. Like one product ho gaya to bas pura zindagi bhar usi product ke upar chalna. No, there are n number of products which you need to include into your what you can say portfolio. Okay, now there are a number of startup ecosystems. So what is, you may have heard this word very frequently, startup ecosystem. So basically startup ecosystems are nothing but the support mechanisms to boost the innovations, IPR and startups. Okay, now what is IPR? It is intellectual property rights. So if you think your idea is really very innovative, really very innovative, see, there are some products which are like, say, Xerox center is there. Now you also are putting a Xerox center at some other place. It is not innovation because Xerox center is already existing. But if something is, some product has been there which is very totally new, and you think the such kind of product is not at all available, then you can file definitely a patent. Patent is your that innovation, right? So it is novelty of that, but uniqueness, novelty of that particular products. Okay, there can be a separate session on this, like patent, or it may be copyrights, or it may be what I can say trademarks like logos and all. So that is again another aspect. So this basically mechanisms are there which are going to boost, and students understand this. Don't think just finance is only the problem. No, there are n number of mechanisms available. You think कि नहीं मेरे को marketing के लिए मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा marketing कैसे करूँ. So there are n number of agencies, there are n number of schemes which are been available which will help you. Like as a suppose if a girl is there and she wants to start a business, so there are support mechanisms for this. Okay, to boost the women entrepreneurship. Okay, so government agencies are there, n number of private government agencies, like at the central level, like you know already MHRD is there, like AICT is there. They are boosting this particular innovations and the startups. At the state level also, like DICs are there. At the like say even in the like say this belongs to PCMC, like this area belongs to PCMC. So even PCMC, okay, it is boosting the innovations. Okay, so there are state level, regional level, local level agencies are there which are boosting this innovations and startups. So any funding required, but you need to approach it in an appropriate way. There are some particular forms, some which needs to be, the procedure needs to be followed. Okay, now there are like private organizations are there, like the companies, like you know Persistent is having its own what is it, Day Asra Foundation. Okay, so that branch is that it is purely supporting this innovation, and many companies recently Accenture has come up with some competition innovations related to innovations. Okay, so there are a number of private agencies. TCS regularly conducts this kind of competition through which they try to identify. Like recently PCMC in association with SPPU CIL and which was been funded, I think, Kirloskar. Okay, so the private organizations are also there to support this innovations, IPR and startups. Okay, besides this, there are NGOs and social organizations also, they are also boosting this innovations and startups. And besides this, HEIs, okay, higher educational institutes, like your own institute is ready to support you students. So definitely you need to take this, consider this opportunity, and you should start working towards it. Okay, and HERs can have the collaborations with some other IICs also, or even some other institute IICs also, as well as they can have the collaborations with many other agencies which are there to boost the startups. Okay, now this is the startup ecosystems, entrepreneur. Now basically, what is the startup in ecosystem? It will be entrepreneurial culture will be boosted in the campuses. Okay, then experienced mentors will be there in this ecosystem, which can help you out to get in your idea into the final product. Regulatory environment guidance will be provided to you. Collaborative culture will be developed. Visible successes, like say, just take example, one of the student from your class itself, okay, it may be MBA or NCA, one of the student from your class itself is thinking of some idea, and at one time that idea, he and his team is working very hard, and he gets that mentorship support has been provided, and he gets recognition at the national level, okay, by IICs, MHRD. So definitely that will be a visible success for the other students. Okay, he is just like me, he is my classmate, he can do it, then even I can do it. Okay, that generally gives the motivation. Okay, now next it is the risk tolerance. Definitely, if it is a business, there are risks which are been involved, and you need to have the knowledge of this particular risk. Now, who will provide you? So there are a number of mentors who will be guiding you on this risk. Availability of the capital, from where to approach for the funds. Okay, besides this, like say you may be a commerce student and you think you don't have too much of technical, like website kaise develop karna tumhare company ka, right? So there may be, or maybe you want to have an app, you don't know how to develop an app. So some technical skills mentoring will be made on this, and the teams will be collaborated. Okay, so the most important role of innovation ambassador: student, you can be innovation ambassadors, faculties can be innovation ambassadors. Now their main important role is to promote the entrepreneurial culture on the campuses, okay, at the institute level and off the campuses also. Okay, now these are the various agencies. These are just a few lists which I have come across and have got the opportunity to interact. Okay, now this is like you already know, this is MOE's Ministry of Education, MHRD, which has already got innovation cell, and you are this IIC. What is the today's session? That is IIC, Institutes Innovation Council. That has been the initiative of this. Okay, now next, beside this, in 2000, like say, Government of India, it has 2016, they have started with the scheme Startup India. Now you may have seen this Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. There are a number of schemes, and under these schemes you can have, and you can apply to multiple schemes based on the criteria. Okay, now besides this, NISP, that is National Innovation and Startup Policy, is there. Okay, so as per under these guidelines, every institute should have its own policies. Now they have given some guidelines. Okay, they already have given some framework, but at the same time, see, every institute may not be of same age. Like say, agar koi institute aaj shuru hua hai, so definitely that they cannot have everything mentioned in NISP at the national level. Okay, they cannot have everything implemented. So slowly they can start implementing this NISP. So that's why they need to formulate their own policies. Right. So like just take example, a well-established institute may think that because of their infrastructure, they have the sufficient, what I can say, space available, infrastructure available. So they may say the incubation period can be 2 years. But why a small another institute which don't have too much of the space? Okay, so in that case, they may can have this incubation period as maybe 1 year. Okay, so that is basically why the institutes need to have their own this innovation and startup policies. Okay, now beside this, even Maharashtra state, now why I have mentioned it here, because the institute is located in Maharashtra, and there are a number of policies which are in line with the central policies. Okay, Maharashtra state also has got its own policies to boost the startup. Please do visit Just put this on the Google and you will get the respective links. Okay, just see who has got the support from this particular policies, and with the examples, with all the photo galleries, everything has been mentioned on this websites. Okay, now beside this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan also, they are providing this for what you can say, rural development. Okay, mainly it is for rural development, that scheme has been there. Now NEN Vadwani Foundation, NEN is basically National Entrepreneurship Network, which has played a very, very important role. Okay, nowadays there are n number of agencies which are been boosting this innovation and startup, but the at the initial stage, see, almost 5 years back, the agency which was been very popular, it was NEN, National Entrepreneurship Network. Okay, basically NEN is part of this Vadwani Foundation. Now it is Mr. Ramesh Wadhwani. You may have seen last year, he has been awarded by our Prime Minister for his contribution towards boosting this entrepreneurship. Okay, so that Wadhwani Foundation is at the international level, and NEN is the at the national level. Okay, now beside this, the university, our own university, okay, they have established they are having the CIIL, okay, Center for Innovation, Incubation and Linkages. Okay, so recently they have just recently they have conducted every year they conduct this I2E competition, Idea to Enterprise, I2E, Idea to Enterprise competition. Every year they conduct it, and there are a lot of stages. Okay, and they do the filtering, and at the end they incubate some of the teams at the universities are having its own incubation. Okay, so there are, and when they are providing training at various different topics, themes related to innovations and entrepreneurship. Now beside this, MCD, Maharashtra Center for Entrepreneurship Development, that is also an agency which is providing, boosting this, supporting the startups. Then beside this, Mahatma Gandhi Mission for Rural Entrepreneurship Development Cell, so REDC is also basically this will be for rural development. Okay, now NASCOM, it has also came up with its policy of 10,000 startup, to boost the 10,000 startup. STP Science and Technology Park, they regularly conduct this FDPs, and they for the faculties almost for 10 days or maybe 20 days. Beside this, they are giving the sessions on Nidhi EIR. Like, so there are various schemes. Okay, NCL Innovation Lab near Pashan, they also conduct various sessions, and no any cost to this. Okay, so NCL, they also boost this innovations and incubation. AIC Pinnacle, TIE, and many other support mechanisms and agencies are there, like NABARD is there. Okay, like now basically if you want to have more funds in agri, let's say your idea is related to agribusiness, so definitely you should approach some agency which is boosting this agriculture. Okay, now suppose if a female is there, she can have some financial support from Mahila Growth Udyog schemes. Okay, now beside this, there are many private companies, as I already mentioned, Persistent, TCS, Accenture, almost many companies are there which are boosting. IBM is also there. There are many companies which are boosting this innovations and startups. They conduct n number of, they give a call for n number of competitions. Okay, and through the competitions they've finalized, and they are almost giving 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 10 lakhs prizes. Okay, those prizes are nothing but the funds for that particular startups. Okay, so till so far, whatever I wanted to brief you about this, so that is I have already covered. Okay, I will take the questions at the end. Now I will come up to the topic of this particular session, that is ISCs, Institutes Innovation Council. Okay, this is a MHRD and MOE initiatives. Every educational institute need to establish ISCs at the institute. That is now been made mandatory even by the AICTs also. AICT is also encouraging every institute, HEIs, that is Higher Educational Institute, to establish this ISC. Okay, now even let's say there are some schemes like tinkering labs and all. These are basically for the at the school levels. From the school level, the innovation should start. Even you may have heard that national educational policies, they have made dramatic changes. Okay, like the vocational courses should start at the in 5th standard itself. Okay, so that more and more startups, innovations should come. So there are a number of policies which are been getting changed at the central as well as state level. Okay, now ISC's performance. Now why ISC's needs to be very, very active? Okay, now students, it is your own institute, and you want your institute to be at what can I say, as far as performance is concerned, you want it to be ranking at a higher level. You should be thinking of these lines. Not only the faculties, it's not only the responsibility of the director, it's not only the responsibility of the faculties. Even the students should feel proud that and should contribute towards it. Okay, so IIC's performance is linked to various accreditations like NIRF, ARIA, NAC, NBA, etc. There are many other benefits which you'll be getting with the IIC performance. Okay, so getting funding from various agencies for various schemes for students as well as faculties gets easier with this ranking. Okay, getting the rewards for the students as well as the faculties at the national, at the regional, at the national levels. Okay, now IIC Council formation, there are the 4 important pillars of this IIC: startup cell, innovation cell, IPR cell, and the incubation. Okay, these are the 4 important pillars. Okay, एक कोई घर ये करने के लिए भी 4 पिलर की जरूरत होती है, right? So these are the 4 important pillars, and every cell, these pillars we can call it as cell, and every cell will have one coordinator, and there will be a team of students, okay, and the faculties with it. And besides this, there will be, as per the formation, it is internship coordinator, social media, because whatever activities you are doing, your institute is doing, so it needs to be getting published at various medias. Okay, social medias like Instagram hai, your LinkedIn hai, your Facebook hai, like so some or the other, you need to keep on publishing. So there should be definite team, PR team for this particular social media. Okay, now industry representatives should be there on board. Alumni entrepreneurs, which are been passed out students who have started their own businesses, those needs to be there on the board, and the existing students should be there on this particular IIC council. Okay, now besides this, you know, there are various roles besides startup coordinator, this all the innovation IPR coordinators. There will be one president, vice president, and convener. So this president and convener, they are having the major responsibility to ignite this IICs, and everyone who is there in this institute needs to what I can say, ignite these activities and need to participate and need to boost and promote these activities of IICs. Now, what is the role of innovation ambassadors? Okay, now as of now, the general you can, every student, I hope all the students are paying attention. Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can just mention it in chat also, students. I hope every student is paying attention to this. You as a student also can be innovation ambassadors. You can get the recognitions from the government, like say that MHRD, okay, MIC, you will be getting the certificates. You, for this, what is important is your this madam is their convener, they will be or IIC team, they will be providing you with that web link wherein you can register as innovation ambassadors. There you have to select your institute name properly. As soon as you select the institute name, it will be automatically coming to your institute login. Okay, and after that you are supposed to have, like say, see, just by registration you will not be innovation ambassadors. You need to complete some training which will be provided by the MIC, innovation cell of MIC. Okay, so it will be provided. So for this I hope I think Ginny madam, I hope you have taken the note that 10th is the last date for nominating the innovation ambassadors. Okay, the new innovation. Okay, so that is those who you want to nominate, it will be done from the login itself. Okay, so that login, they will be getting whatever the mail IDs have been put of those innovation ambassadors, they will be getting mails from directly from them, and that in like say at the fundamental level and at the advanced level. Recently, just last month, I have completed my advanced level training from as innovation ambassadors for this entrepreneurship development. Okay, so there are regularly they are conducting this innovation ambassador trainings. Okay, but for this, those students, faculties who are interested, you need to put that you want to be innovation ambassadors, so that the institute will put that from the login. Okay, from the institute login, the nomination is to be made, and whatever the mail IDs are being put there, you will be getting the mails from directly from this innovation cell. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
The
ma'am. Some of the faculties have undergone that kind of training.
Yes. So even the students can undergo this innovation ambassadors training, so that they it will be very easier for igniting these activities of the ISCs. Okay, so innovation ambassadors will be basically, when you are registering, it will be general, design thinking, entrepreneurship, IPR, and one is incubation. Okay, if you think you are more interested into, you are having the expertise into design thinking, so you can register yourself as innovation ambassador of design thinking. Or if you, overall you are good at many things, so you can generalize it as in general category. Or if you have good knowledge about incubation, how to register the incubation centers and all, so you can register as innovation ambassador of incubation. Now training from the training from MHRD and MOE will be given, and then registered IS based on the performance of ISs will be rewarded. Now, what is the role of innovation ambassadors? Overall, I'm just giving here, there are a number of points. So promoting entrepreneurship and innovation among the students and the faculties, providing specialized knowledge in specific areas. Like say, probably you will not be the expertise, but definitely you have, as an innovation ambassador, you should start getting that network with the other experts. And if any team is coming to ISC, approaching ISC, then that networking should be linked. Okay, now supporting the budding entrepreneurs with aspects of mentoring. These are basically at the faculty level, at the institute level. The most important role is to promote entrepreneurial culture on the campus. Okay. Now, why students and faculties be active members of ISCs? Definitely, ISCs at the institute, ISCs performance is linked to various accreditations, and accreditations are been very, very important. Okay, for getting the various funds, various what I can say, benefits from the government agencies, and the recognitions. So that will be educational excellence awards for the institute and faculties as well as students. That will be again based on this performance. Okay, now definitely the main important, that is, but at the end, why the government is boosting this, because at the end it is going to contribute, this innovations and startups is going to contribute the society as well as the nation building. Okay, now as it has been for the student participant, what will be the benefit if the students are active members of not only the just innovation ambassador, but they are just regularly helping this getting this activities success. Okay, so basically they can, the students can get mentorship and guidance, they can receive training and exposure, receive the funding and incubation linkages. Okay, now probably institute will not be, like say, just take example, your requirement for getting that full startup done, you're starting the business, may require say 50 lakhs. Probably institute will not be in a position to give you that 50 lakhs. Probably they may contribute something, but they can definitely guide you, or they can definitely network you, or they can guide you on where to approach for the funds. Okay, like investors pitches are there. Okay, so there are n number of agencies and number of individuals are also there who are ready to fund. Receive the innovation ambassador batches, like e-participation certificates. There are n number of competitions which are been taking place by from the ISCs also. Then recognition at the regional and national level, receive the reward points, and the finalist of ISCs, they will be getting, what I can say, the funds from directly from innovation cell. Okay, see, and it's my privilege to tell you that, and it's a pleasure for me to tell you that one of our team is already there in the final. So we're just waiting for the further results. Okay, so there are a number of benefits, like there will be other benefits, opportunity to interact with entrepreneurs, because once you start joining this, getting active in ISCs, you will start getting ISCs, and then through ISC, your ISCs will be getting a number of what I can say, communication with from the other ISCs as well as government agencies. So you will be getting opportunity to interact with entrepreneurs from various fields. Entrepreneur knowledge, definitely it is very, very important. Students, you may be taking up a job, but having entrepreneur knowledge will always help you out. Okay, now ideation till establishment, mentoring support, incubation support, funding opportunities, and the most important is networking. Then support for patent filing also, like there may be some students from you who are engineering, or maybe MCA students have joined, so even patent filing supports will be made. Then a number of competitions, you will be getting all the knowledge about this. Then participations and the members make because of this participations and a number of certificates which you can mention it on your profiles. Okay, so that will definitely again another opportunity for you. Now, there, what are the opportunity areas for innovations and startups? Almost every sector. there are opportunities. Only you need to think out of the box. That is something very important. Like recently, during the lockdown, one thing was getting very viral. You know, some few ladies who were making at a very rural places. Okay, they were not having very good knowledge about the technology and all. They have literally sold cow dung cakes on the Amazon. You can search it, the students. See, cow dung cake, you know, making the cow dung cake and selling it on Amazon. That's a fantastic thing, you know, and very less cost, no much cost been involved. Okay. Now you may think, like say, this is a very important. यहाँ पे कुछ भी बिकता है, सिर्फ बेचने वाला चाहिए. Like you need to think out of the box. That is something very, very important, students. So you need to go with the passion, like whatever the area you like. Now I have here mentioned one small example, pet care. Like say, now just take example. Many people, they keep on cribbing like पैसे ही नहीं है, बहुत ये चल रहा है, shortage चल रहा है. So basically there is nothing what I can say impossible. Only you need to think of the ideas. Okay, now I'm just about to end by this session with some few quotes. Okay, now this is you know, all the MBA and MCA students need to know who is Warren Buffett. Mr. Warren Buffett, he has mentioned, never depend on single income, make investment to create a second source. During the lockdown also, you see there were people who were really struggling for their survival, their livelihood. But there were people who had already created the other sources of income. They were not having much problems. Okay, so that is basically very, very important, students. So even though you may be thinking of jobs, but getting a startup, you can just think of some idea and you think that idea will really work. You can register that form on the name of your maybe mother who is maybe housewife, or maybe your brother, or maybe your sister, okay, who are not at present doing any job. Okay, so there is no any harm in doing that. So that will be, you will be monitoring and they will be doing that particular work. And this is again another important quote: you're born poor, it's not your mistake, but if you die poor, it is definitely your mistake. So herewith I end up with my session. Thank you very much, madam. So over to you, madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am. If anybody is having any questions, please go ask, or you can chat, like type in the chat box. Students, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Even the faculties and students, if you're having any questions and if you think you won't be able to, you are not comfortable in asking, my number and mail IDs are also been mentioned. You can feel free, and even madam is having my this details, so you can anytime ask your query, and even faculties can ask the queries. Hello, am I audible, madam?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Dear participants, if you're having any questions, please ask.
Dear students, the feedback form is, the link for the feedback form is pasted in the chat box. You can just fill it. And if you have any questions, you can put in the chat window also, or you can unmute yourself and ask.
I think no questions are there, madam, I guess. So,
Okay, ma'am.
Just a moment, ma'am. Before we wind up, I wanted to show that particular one video, right?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
वीडियो देखने जाओ, वीडियो देखने, ये इसको कैसे करने का, क्या क्या करना है?
Ma'am?
Madam, just a moment, ma'am. Just a moment. I'm trying to open that video. Just a moment.
Okay, ma'am.
It is a very small video, madam. Just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam, is the video visible, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this particular video has nothing to do with this innovation and this startups at present. Okay. Basically, all the students and all the faculties, one thing which has been very constant. Okay, that is something which we call it as stress. Okay. How many of you really feel stress? Can I have an answer on the chat box? Almost everyone. Some or the other kind of
Yes,
stress
ma'am.
is there, right? Because even I am always a student. Okay, today also I am a student as well as I am the faculty. I always like to keep my education continuous. Okay, at present I'm preparing for some exams also. Okay, so there will be all, and beside this the family responsibility, there are a number of workload. Like say every student also feels some or the other kind of stress. Every faculty also feels some or the other kind of stress. So before I wind up with my this session and say goodbye to you, let me make you smile with this particular small video. Okay, and I'm very sure you all will enjoy this video, and I want every one of you to keep smiling throughout your life, because that smile definitely gives energy to yourself as well as the front person who is seeing you. Maybe you are there with your parents, or maybe you are there with your any family member. If you keep smiling, okay, laughing is something different and smiling is something different. Okay, keep always smiling. There may be a number of problems in life, but always keep smiling, so that it will give you the energy to face those problems in a brave manner. Okay, so with this I would like to play the video.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Samaga madanisa, sanida magarisa, அவரோகணம். சமகமதனிசா சனிதமகரிசா அப்ப பௌதவர்கள் சோகை லைக் a diamond in the sky, like a diamond in the sky. ஸ்ருதி பேசுகளடி பாத்துக்கோ. சகமகரி சனி சகரி சனி தமதனி சனி ரிசானி தமனி தகமகரி ச ட்விங்கிள் ட்விங்கிள் லிட்டில் ஸ்டார்.
அடுத்த லாங்குவேஜ்.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. In the sky. இது கேரள ட்விங்கிள் ட்விங்கிள். Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. இது பஞ்சாபி ட்விங்கிள் ட்விங்கிள். ஓ ட்விங்கிள் twinkle, 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 little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, oh twinkle, 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 little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, oh twinkle, twinkle, oh twinkle.
Okay, that's it from my side, ma'am. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Keep laughing, keep smiling, and keep inspiring. Thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your profound knowledge with us. Now, I would like Aditya Mane to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Bhakti. It's a great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank today's keynote speaker, Dr. Vijayshri Mehta, ma'am. It's a great honor to have you, ma'am, guiding us all today. Ma'am started with quote saying innovation distinguishes between leader and follower by Steve Jobs. Then ma'am explained how there is need for innovation and how innovation solves problems and make living comfortable and helps in nation building. Ma'am also enlightened about incubation process, idea to enterprise, startup ecosystem, IIC and role of innovation ambassadors, and also why students and faculties be active members of IIC. And also thank you, ma'am, for your profound knowledge and also sharing that video with us. I'm sure that video made everyone smile. Further, I would like to extend my gratitude to a very supportive management of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Management and Research, Pimpri, Director Dr. Meghna Bilhare, Associate Director Dr. Vishal Vadaskar sir, Mrs. Varisha Pawar, Dr. Tejashri Talla, HOD MBA, Dr. Shika Dubey, HOD MCA, and to all the faculty. Thank you, sir and ma'am, for your continuous support and motivation, and also for organizing such informative sessions. Lastly, I would like to thank all the students for attending the session and making this a successful one. Thank you, one and all. Here I conclude the session. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, everyone.
With your permission, may I leave the meeting, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And if any questions are there, you can take those questions and I will definitely try to address it later also. Okay, thank you. Okay, all the best students and the faculties for igniting your institute's IIC, and let this IIC be one of the best IICs in the nation. All the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.